we all are quite opinionated about it. We've all seen a lot of golf, we all know what we like. I think we agree on pretty much every aspect, but every now and then you have disagreements. Great things come out of that because you can have a heated debate and both sides can see the other arguments, and I think great things come from that. So I think we all come from four slightly different perspectives, and if we have some heated debates about stuff, I think some of the best stuff will come out of that.
It is important doing a set of documentation, and I think people have, flippantly dismissed, that sometimes we'll do a set of plans and we'll change it in the field. That's not always the case, but clients have to understand that things change on the ground. You might have a hole designed through a set of trees that need to be removed or requires a lot of earthworks, and frankly no one's good enough to know what that's going to look like, so plans need to be put in that context. I don't care what architect you are, no one's going to know. If you're landscaping 150 acres that, oh yes, you're going to be able to see from here and there, and it's going to do this and it's going to do that. When construction begins, not always as it wholesale changes, but you have the opportunity to lower something or raise something or split a bunker into two or make a little change here or there. A lot of clients demand that work's attended for due diligence. There might be a public company, or that they need 3 or 4 prices, whatever. So you're almost forced to go down the path of, you'll have to get a survey done, then you'll have to do a concept, have that approved, and then detailed design. Every aspect, the tees and the greens, the bunkers, and there's probably less opportunity to make little changes in that when you have gone down that path. And unfortunately, the result at the end of it is, it's going to be compromised to some extent, because if you're putting a bunker somewhere and really the only reason you're putting it there is because it says so on the plan, and that if you don't do it, well, the contractor will want a variation, and then suddenly that needs to be approved by the client, and at the end of the day, it's just too hard. So what we've managed to do, and we did it a long time ago, was basically do design build, and not many people do that. And we're fortunate that we've got the skills from not just turf, but project management and supervision, where we now go to clients and we save them money, because you don't need to do plans, you don't need to do a survey. Basically, we can work off a concept, whether it's a sketchy sketch of how this is going to look. Sometimes it will be a plan. And then basically we can build it, which is what we've done here at Bonnie Doon, where we went through a level of planning from a council point of view for approval, but it was really only required for council. We don't need it to accurately cost a job. We can cost it based on a concept. We don't need it to give to a contractor because we're building it and we're here all the time. So we're there either physically helping or instructing one of the guys on the machines to make a change where necessary. And because you nip it in the bud, because you're there making suggestions as you work, there's no, you're not wasting time or wasting money.
We're going to build courses that are fun to play. I think people lose the point of golf. Some people think that you rate a course and how difficult it is. To me, it's how much fun it is to play and how thought-provoking it is. It's like, how do I play this, or what do I do here? Too much of golf is just hit it here, because that's where the architect tells you to hit it. I mean, it's much more fun when you have to figure out for yourself where to play. When you go to talk to a club about what work you might do, people by now might, I've written enough and we've done enough that, well, here's the way those guys can't think the game is best played. And I think it is the way the game is best played. It needs space and width and options, and players who hit the ball, wildly crookedly shouldn't get away with it, but you should be able to stay on the tee and have some freedom to play without fear of an unplayable lie or losing a ball, but you should also be rewarded for hitting the right shot.
Often it's with the rakes and the small machinery, so getting that fine detail that's so hard to get, and so hard to teach people how to do that. I mean, getting into a bunker and standing back on the fairway half a dozen times and just seeing how that lib's evolving and what it's looking like, whether it's looking like it's eroded or whether you're on the sand belt and it's that clean cut look. I mean, that's kind of difficult to do, and you can't get that out of a plan. You really need to be on the ground fiddling with it to do it. It'd be like painting a picture and not being able to change it, really. You need to be out there changing it all the time.
I mean, we might make 20 decisions a day, 20 or 30 decisions a day, where you know, we need to raise that a little bit. No, the slope's a little bit too severe coming off that bunker. Let's split that bunker in two, let's raise that, we need to change the backdrop. No, that's too similar to 2 holes across. Let's move this mowing line, let's put more vegetation there, let's take more vegetation out of there. That happens, I mean, we're here every week, that happens every week without fail. Golf course architects are given such an amazing opportunity to change, you know, 150 acres or 200 acres, potentially for 100 years. You know, it's going to be there for 100 or 200 years. To not spend the time that's required to do a great job is just a cop-out. One of the difficulties clients have is that at the board table level, everyone appears the same. You read the design philosophies, you look at the websites, and everyone says the same stuff. What we try and implore people to do is to come out and look at our work. And unfortunately, not every client does that. They rely on a submission, you know, some pretty pictures of how the hole's going to look or how they think it's going to look. And then they make a decision, whereas we would prefer they spend the money to get out, have a look at our courses and walk around with us. Because as soon as you meet us, that's when you realise we're different. You know, then you start to see our depth of knowledge, our experience, and our passion.